Lisi. A hamstring injury will delay guard out until at least after the All-Star break with the injury. Teams hoping the rest will help Harden fully recover from the hamstring and that he can make his debut before the end of the month. Philly's first game after the break is Friday, February 25th. Should be an interesting NFL offseason in Arizona. ESPN's Chris Mortensen reporting the Cardinals and quarterback Kyler Murray are at odds. He thinks he's being framed as the scapegoat for the one and done in the playoffs. A source said the organization feels Murray is self-centered, immature, and somebody who points fingers. Our Keyshawn Johnson.
I don't know how they fix it. I mean, I'm sure they're going to work on it, but I don't think that in that building they're convinced that he is the guy long-term moving forward for them. And I mean long-term beyond next year. And we'll see. He doesn't like the way that they've been dealing with him and handling his situation.
He of Keyshawn, Jay, and Max. NHL star center Jack Eichel will return from a neck injury and make his Vegas Golden Knights debut Wednesday against the Avalanche. He is slotted as the Knights' #1 center.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Toplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Hope you had an awesome weekend. It's good to be back. Not really. I could totally retire in Sausalito, California if you've never been. Oh, my God. It's like heaven right there on the bay. Homes into the side of the mountain. Did a few days out at the Bay Area, so sometime in San Fran. I went up to wine country. We needed it. It was Eric and I celebrating our 10th wedding anniversary, so it was nice to get out and go do something we hadn't done before, but also appreciate Muso and Mario. Thanks, guys, for filling in while I was gone those 3 days. And we landed in New Orleans at 4:47 or something like that. So we get off the plane, and I'm like, all right, Erica, go get the bags. I'm going to get the car, wheel it around, and then we're hauling, or thought we'd be hauling, New Orleans, beautiful new airport. They screwed up the one thing, and that's the exit, because somehow, some way, on a Sunday at 5 o'clock, exiting the New Orleans airport, the 2 lanes going out were just gridlocked. So I'm losing my mind. I mean, you know me. Like I'm losing my mind with this. So Erica gets out the iPad, puts the game up on the app, and puts the iPad on the dash. So I'm sitting in traffic. So we got home for the start of the second quarter, but really a mostly entertaining Super Bowl Sunday. The game was competitive all the way to the very end, obviously, down to the last play, and halftime was super entertaining. I thought that's got mostly good reviews. Even the Super Bowl ads, which had gone over the top and kind of ridiculous of late, I thought they really connected with a lot of them. So, a really entertaining evening watching Super Bowl 56 and everything contained there. Not much about the game itself, I think we'll remember. And what I mean is, there wasn't the David Tyree, the catch against the helmet. There wasn't Mike Jones tackling Kevin Dyson at the 1-yard line when the Rams beat the Titans. There wasn't James Harrison's 100-yard interception return. It wasn't Adam Vinatieri's kick to win it in 2001 against the greatest show on turf. So I don't know if we had that moment, but all in all, really entertained. That moment that 20, 30 years from now, they'll be replaying that play. But all in all, a very entertaining night. I felt great for Andrew Whitworth and for Odell Beckham. I am not a Rams fan. I think anybody who's a Saints fan is allergic to being a Rams fan after the Nola no call and ruining the Saints hosting the NFC Championship game. You all know the story. But Andrew Whitworth's a guy that's been around the league forever. Won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, as we saw. Won a national championship at LSU. Has been an All-Pro. 11 years with the Bengals. Goes to the Rams. They lost the Super Bowl back in 2018. And this was likely a walk-off for him. I mean, he said before the game this was likely it. He would likely end his career. There's nothing really more for him to do. He had 40 years old, becoming the first starting offensive lineman in the Super Bowl to be 40 years old. It's incredible. What an accomplishment. And now I think we have a legitimate conversation about Whitworth. Is he a Hall of Famer? I think that's part of the convo. So for Whitworth to win it, felt great. For Odell also to win it. I mean, how enigmatic has his career been? Bursting onto the scene, Offensive Rookie of the Year, one of the most famous, not just best players, one of the most famous players in the NFL, to then proposing to kicking nets and getting traded to Cleveland and then getting cut there because they basically viewed him as the problem. And then he lands in L.A., and he was such a key part to their run, not just in the Super Bowl, but their run to the Super Bowl, and then obviously scoring the game's first touchdown. Really disappointing about the injury. It looks like Odell's got a torn ACL. At least that's the reports out, and I think we all sort of assumed that. But it felt great for those guys. It sucks for Joe Burrow because he's risen in that moment so many times in his football life, right? And it's not to say that it was Burrow's fault that they didn't win it. I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around for the Bengals, but whenever when the Rams scored to go up 23-20 and it's about a minute and a half and 2 timeouts, you're just thinking, oh, Burrow's got this. And when they hit Chase on the left side for that 17-yard gain on first down, you're thinking, all right, here he goes. And I just think some bad situational awareness by Zach Taylor, a pretty poor play call on the 3rd and 1 to run the draw. I understand what he was doing, right? I mean, you're thinking get the first down, clock it, save your 2 timeouts, and then you start taking your chances as you're about 10 yards away from field goal range. But it didn't work out. So you hope Burrow will have that moment again in his career many times. But as we've seen so often, there's never a given that it's going to happen again. Halftime show thought was fantastic. I mean, I can remember after the Nipplegate when Justin Timberlake pulled off Janet Jackson's clothes and her nipple was exposed and all that stuff. The NFL hired a firm to produce sort of air quotes safe halftime shows, and so they started going with like all these older acts, right? Like they'd go with The Who and with. Did Bob Dylan? Do you remember? Did Bob Dylan perform a halftime show?
But Tom Petty did.
Tom Petty did. That
Petty.
Was one of them.
Yeah.
Who else was in that? It was like several years where it was like, 60s and 70s rockers. Anyway, sort of safe halftime shows, and it appealed to like an older generation. And so then I'm watching that last night, and I was like, man, this is phenomenal. And then I realized, oh crap, I'm the older generation now. Like they were totally playing to 80s and 90s crowd with that halftime show, but I thought they nailed it. Great ode to LA. If you're older than I, you maybe didn't love it, but I thought it was cross-generational and really, really good. And we'll talk about the commercials as well, which ones won. I love the Dr. Evil one. I thought it was fantastic. But the one thing that that I have heard a bit today is, the fans who say, well, that it was fixed, it was rigged because of the holding call at the end on Cooper Kupp when it looked like the Bengals had forced a 4th down right there. Listen, where I stand on this. I just like to insinuate that a game is rigged or fixed is just it appeals to the lowest common denominator. It's just not a smart thing to say. I mean, you literally have these massive economies of scale built upon sports and the emotion and the intrigue of not knowing, of competing and not knowing who's going to win. To insinuate that it's fixed or rigged is just dumb. It doesn't make any sense at all. What I've said forever on this show is all officials at all levels in all sports are bad at their job. It's not their fault. They're not bad people. They're not trying to screw it up. They're just not good at their job because they do a job where they're expected to be perfect, and it's impossible to be so. We could talk about the penalty, that sequence there at the end. What about the T. Higgins play? holy crap. Like, he grabbed Jalen Ramsey by the face mask and threw him on the ground and scored a touchdown. Like, that's a game-changing play, man. What are we talking about? Is it rigged? No, the guy's just terrible. He's out of position. Didn't do a good job. I mean, it happens that way. I look more at this and I go, man, if you're the Bengals, you are going to, you're going to wake up today and think every day. Obviously, if you lose the Super Bowl, you're going to think every day for the rest of your life about it. But how about Zach Taylor going for it on 4th down in the first quarter? Giving the Rams half a field where Odell scored first touchdown. You gave him half a field. Stupid. A chance early. There was no reason to take that chance that early in the game. How about your offensive line allowing 7 sacks? 6 in the second half. Could you block somebody? I mean, how about 2 forced turnovers netting you 3 points? I mean, you get the touchdown, then a pick. That's your chance. That's your chance, right? Like, that is your moment, and you go backwards and settle for a field goal. I mean, I would even point to on the final drive, Zach Taylor running the draw with Samaje Perine on 3rd and 1. Again, I know what you're trying to do there. You're trying to get the first down, clock it, and then have your 2 timeouts to take your shots. But my goodness, that Rams defensive front, especially how many times did Collinsworth pointed out all night when Ashawn Robinson was in the game, they couldn't run the ball when 94 was in there. And, man, Aaron Donald was just possessed, especially on that last drive. Running it there, just to not give yourself the option, it just felt wrong. I mean, I'm sure Zach Taylor, there's moments in that game he'd love to have back. But all in all, really competitive game. Look, even if you want to talk about the penalty at the end, I mean, the touchdown that was negated had the offsetting penalties. You had holding called against the Rams. I think it was the first holding call all game. You had a holding call against the Rams and Havenstein at that moment that would have moved the Rams back 10 yards and made converting far more complex. But Von Bell did what he had to do, right? I mean, it's a moment in the game where if Cooper Kupp catches this football, you're losing the Super Bowl with 90 seconds to go. You have to go try to dislodge the football. So he made a big hit, and it's an awful rule, but it was the right call as well at the time. Just what are you going to do? It was a fun, competitive game to watch. Everyone here that's disappointed for Burrow, totally get it. But, man, all in all, a really fun Super Bowl Sunday. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We'll talk a ton about the Super Bowl today. I do want to talk about Beckham. I want to talk about Whitworth, who I think stated his case to be a Hall of Famer. And some of you may go, oh, of course he's a Hall of Famer. We'll go through some of the numbers. And it's hard, right? It's very hard to quantify an offensive lineman's case for the Hall of Fame because there aren't stats. But I do want to go through Whitworth's resume and his case. Well, I think, man, he's probably going to get there. Anyway, we'll go through that. We'll talk commercials and halftime show and all that stuff as well. But we got a ton to do as well. LSU basketball got a win over the weekend. That's back-to-back wins, which is nice to see. Shelby Mast is going to be with us next hour. He does bracketology for USA Today. We'll talk about LSU's case right there. And interesting report from over the weekend from Rappaport about Michael Thomas, his future in the Saints. We'll get to all that. So a ton to do, and glad you're with us. Good to be back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Good to be telling you again about Pinnacle Exterior Construction. You can always check them out online at pecbuilt.com. pecbuilt.com. That's Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Custom pools, fences, decks, bulkheads, outdoor kitchens. We are right here in the middle of winter. We're still getting into the 30s every night, and it's just dry and drab and overcast and gray, and we're always thinking about what it's going to be like when the spring and summer months come, and it's nice, and we all want to be outside all the time again. Enjoy that custom pool. Let Pinnacle Exterior Construction build it for you, and I would highly recommend you call them now. I'm telling you, don't wait. And with being tax seasonal, you might be getting that refund check soon. This is the perfect time to call Pinnacle now, have them come out, do the plans for you, organize, get you on the schedule. So, man, when that tax refund hits, boom, you're ready to start digging the hole in the ground, and you're swimming when the weather's nice again. It's Pinnacle Exterior Construction, 757-6138 or pecbuilt.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person. Connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast.
For this life I cannot change. It is deep off in the main.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
That's so good. That's so good.
You missed that commercial last night?
How did I miss that?
I don't know.
Was that the first quarter? It had to be in the first quarter.
No, I don't think it was, man. I think it was second half. It was second quarter or second half. Maybe y'all were just getting home and like unloading the car.
No, we got home at the end of the first quarter. I don't know how I missed that. How did I miss that commercial? So, all right. So every year USA Today puts out their ad meter and it rates the success of the Super Bowl ads. Don't ask me how they rate it all. It's like impressions or if it's like how memorable it was, if it rated good or bad, whatever. It's basically how they rate how the ads were received. And so in the break, I was asking everybody what's their favorite, and Musso said he liked the Larry David. I was like, wait a minute, there's a Larry David, and I love Larry David. So
that's great.
I don't do TV much. You all know that. One thing that Eric and I have watched since we were dating is Curb. Like that's been a thing we've done since we were kids, since we were dating. Yeah, we weren't kids even when we were dating. But anyway, so I just watched. It was an FTX commercial. It was crypto, where he's going like through time, and Larry's playing different people throughout time. He's wrong about things like the wheel. He's like, the wheel. This is no good.
It's never going to work.
You got to know the Larry David character from Curb to kind of understand his interaction. Like, wait, you're going to let everybody vote, even the stupid ones? It was like the We the People. John Hancock assigning the good stuff. Anyway, it was like Yeah, so that was crypto. So anyway, here's your top 10. So what was yours, Muse? What did you like?
I liked the Larry David commercial that you just talked about. I liked there was that Michelob Ultra ad with Peyton Manning and Serena Williams and Brooks Koepka in a bowling alley.
And then they came back.
They had a second one.
And it was just Koepka in the second one?
Yeah, I think so.
Because he had a caddy. He had his caddy talking to him.
With him. Yeah, he was shooting pool and.
Yeah, it was. But that was like an ultra.
It was kind of like a series. I just like the first one is the one I liked the most. But
the second one with just Koepka and the caddy was something like a seltzer or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Paulie, you?
I liked the Uber Eats.
Which one was Uber Eats?
Well, it was the Uber Don't Eats.
Oh, when they were eating everything. Got it. Yeah, it was clever. Basically,
and then I liked the Amazon Mind Reader with Scarlett Johansson and Colin Jost.
Yeah,
that one was good.
That one rated very well. Okay, so here you go. Here was your top 10 according to the USA Today ad meter rankings. Again, so this is just like how it's perceived. I'm not saying this is my opinion or whatever. I'm just telling you this is how they rated. Okay, so number 10 was the E-Trade off the grid, the E-Trade Baby. Do you all remember E-Trade Baby?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so E-Trade Baby, one of the most famous Super Bowl ads of all time. So they brought back the E-Trade Baby, and that one did well. Obviously, you would anticipate people would remember it. So that was 10. 9 was the Joneses. Tommy Lee Jones. They're playing It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones. What's the woman's name? She was.
Oh, that was Rashida Jones.
Rashida Jones. Okay, I recognized her from The Office, right? Yep. She was Jim's
girlfriend for a little bit.
Girlfriend, yeah, with love interest, opposite Pam. Yes, and then Tom Jones was in there, and then one of the Jonas brothers pulled up. Okay, so that was 9. Pretty good job there. You span different generations, all that sort of stuff. 8 was the NFL commercial. They're bringing down the house NFL ad where they it was like a CGI deal where NFL players came out of the TV, almost like Space Jam-esque. I thought they did really well with that. Back-to-back years, when the NFL had the 100-year commercial, that one did really well also. But that was pretty good. They even had a gritty at the end. Did you notice?
Yeah, that's the only part I caught of it was Jefferson doing the gritty at the end.
They had Jefferson doing that's amazing how the gritty is taken off like that. Right. Like, holy crap, the gritty. I mean, it's like in video games, it's everywhere. I mean, it's unreal. 7, BMW, Zeus and Hera. So this was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Selma Hayek when Zeus retires and goes off to live his life. A lot of electric ads in this, electric energy and all that sort of stuff. 6 was the Lay's commercial, Golden Memories, with Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen. Did you see that one?
I missed that one. How did I miss that one?
They're basically going through their friendship and all the great things that they've done in their life when Lay's was there, and one of them was when he bought a home. Like Paul Rudd bought a home, and there was a ghost, a woman ghost, and then Seth Rogen ends up marrying. Like they're in tuxes because he's at his wedding, and he's marrying the woman ghost. Anyway, that was 6, the Lay's Golden Memory. 5 was the Toyota ad. This was maybe the first one of the night. It was the tearjerker with the brothers who became Paralympic athletes when the one brother lost his sight. That came 5. Again, that was the tough part about that is like when you go off, I don't want to say off brand, I guess off brand, like you remember the ad, you may not remember what the ad is for. Like, did you remember that was Toyota?
No.
I didn't remember that was Toyota either.
It was a good ad, though.
Erica cried at this one. The Kia Robo-Dog. She was crying. She's like, that's terrible. They need to take that off of TV because there was a sad robotic dog. This is my wife. Sad robotic dogs apparently make her cry. But the Kia Robo-Dog, that was the electric one.
I missed that one, too.
Oh, you missed that one?
I missed that one, too.
It's a robotic dog that's in there playing like, what song are they playing? They're playing a sappy song that everybody knew, and the dog is longing for, and he sees an electric car, and he starts chasing, and his battery runs out. Then the driver plugs the dog into the. Exactly.
That's ridiculous. Okay.
3 was the Doritos and Cheetos Push It ad. I really like that one.
Was good.
That's shades of like old school throwback Super Bowl where you like Doritos. You know what they're playing for. They're completely baiting you into the comedic nature of the spot. I thought it hit. All the animals doing the salt and pepper push it thing with the spicy flaming hot. I thought it was great. 2 was the Amazon Mind Reader, the one that Paul mentioned. That was they nailed it with Colin Jost and Scarlett Johansson. Yeah. So you had 2 megastars who are a couple, and going through a lot of common things where Alexa can read your mind. So that was number 2. And then number 1 was the Rocket Mortgage Dream House with Anna Kendrick and Barbie. Not bad. That was also one that was early in the game. You don't remember that one?
Oh, no, I remember that one. I didn't think that would be the one that was number 1.
The reason it hit, and it wasn't my favorite either, but I do like Anna Kendrick, and I like what they did with it. But the reason it hit is because the way it started was like a Barbie ad. Like, if you can remember back to, like, 80s Mattel Barbie ads, like, that's how they started the ad. Like, all of those ads started. And then the quick switch with Barbie not being able to get the home, all these other characters were trying to get the home. It was pretty good. I'm surprised the Dr. Evil one didn't hit more. Did you like that one?
I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Paul, did you like the Dr. Evil one?
I liked it.
I'm just curious, like, if I'm out in left field on that one. I thought it's so hard also in the Super Bowl to connect on a 60-second ad. Like, 60 seconds is a long time to fill. Like, to be interesting and keep attention for that long, most ads you see are either 15s or 30s. Sometimes you even see like 3 and 5 second ads now because attention spans get shorter. It's hard to keep people interested for a 60, and I thought they nailed that one. And now that I say that, I don't even remember what it was for.
I don't either.
See? That goes back to the thing, or like...
It was Dr. Evil.
I know, but it goes back to the Toyota
yeah.
thing. Like, you remember the ad. Do you remember what it was for? I think it was a vehicle. I don't remember what vehicle. I think they were all getting into the car, like the new age car, whatever, like they're going to save the world. It was like, remember those, you got to save the world to then take over the world. So it was like a green emissions type thing. So it was like an electric vehicle. I just don't know what it was for, though.
General Motors.
Okay, it was GM.
Yeah.
Didn't even remember what it was for.
$1 million.
So glad you had that drop on. And that's why you keep drops in the button bar, because you just never know when you might want to take one out. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We're going to go around the SEC in a few. We're brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. You know, I say changing lives. We talk so often about changing lives financially, but GMFS Mortgage really is so more than that. This morning, every Monday, our whole company has like a Monday morning staff meeting. And Miss Becky Prejean from Dreams Come True Louisiana was at our meeting this morning because we're preparing for our Dreams Come True Radiothon. Well, GMFS has been a longtime supporter of Dreams Come True Louisiana. And today, Miss Becky told us a story about T and the folks at GMFS, about how not only are they invested financially, but one of the Dream children who, if you're not familiar with Dreams Come True Louisiana, they grant dreams for Louisiana children who are fighting terminal illness. And one child wanted a playhouse at their home. And so the wish was granted. Well, GMFS employees went and actually set up built the house. Like, they bought it, but then they went and set it up and built it. I mean, it's incredible. They're great people. They're a great company. It's why they've been voted by the Business Report among the 10 best places to work in Baton Rouge for years. They're just awesome. And if it's Baton Rouge or if it's anywhere in the state, you know you're dealing with awesome people. GMFSmortgage.com, changing lives in so many ways. GMFSmortgage.com. LSU basketball got a win on Saturday against Mississippi State. That was great to see. Tigers have now scored back-to-back wins after having lost 6 of 7. It was kind of a reverse of what we had seen from LSU. And full disclosure, when LSU was playing that game, I was on a boat on the San Francisco Bay drinking wine on a sunset cruise. So I was not watching this game when it happened. You can judge me if you want. You could be jealous if you want. But that's what I was doing. Eric and I were on a boat called the Wine Therapy, taking a tour of the bay at sunset. It was gorgeous. While you all were watching LSU and Mississippi State. LSU, it was kind of a reverse. So I did go back, and I didn't watch the whole game. I scanned most of it, read all the write-ups on it. I'll listen to what Will said post-game. But it was kind of what happened in reverse, where LSU had dug themselves big leads. They fought so hard to get back, even or close to it, and they didn't have enough to finish. Same thing happened with Mississippi State. LSU, it was a reverse, right? LSU got the big lead. State clawed, fought back, actually took a lead, but then they ran out of gas, and LSU was able to finish. At this point, it's kind of undeniable to point out Xavier Pinson's impact. And I want to be clear again. I'm not telling you that Xavier Pinson is this transcendent player, but the role Xavier Pinson fills on this team when you remove him, it creates a chain reaction that affects this team in so many ways because they don't have a real backup point guard, a number 2 right there. So when Pinson was out, Gaines, who was a great defensive stopper off the bench, you lose that to put him in at point guard. Well, he's not as good a point guard, and you lose your defensive stopper off the bench. Because LSU was struggling offensively in the start of games, they said, okay, well, let's take Eason off the bench, put him in the starting lineup, try to get some offense early. Well, what happens then is in that first media timeout when Eason, your best player, is coming off the bench for that second wave, well, now he's already been starting. So if you don't get a big lead and get off to a great start, you don't have the reinforcement coming because he's already in the game. So when you put Pinson back in, it just makes a lot of sense. So he plays 34 minutes in the game. He scored 12 points. He dished out some assists. And it allowed Gaines to come off the bench and Eason to come off the bench. And so your rotations were better too. It makes so much sense why this team is so different when he's on the floor. It's not that he's the guy that's going to score 20 a night, but it's the way that he impacts everything they do. So Tigers right now 16 in the net. They're 6-6 in conference, although your conference record doesn't really matter. We've been over that so much, and Shelby Mast will be with us in 30 minutes, bracketologist at USA Today. His latest bracketology is out. We'll kind of let him explain all that. But the great thing for LSU right now is your next 2, again, are winnable. I mean, you play Georgia at home on Wednesday, then you're at South Carolina. You should win both of those games. You'd be 8-6 in the league, and that'll set up that final 2-week stretch against Kentucky, Missouri, Arkansas, and Bama to see where you're going to fall in your seeding for March. It's basically going to determine how good of a draw you're going to have to be able to make a run in March. So good to see LSU getting back on track. They got a couple of winnable games this week on the schedule. See if they can go get them. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC. We will talk bracketology about 30 minutes from right now. Tons of Super Bowl talk as well. Do want to talk about Odell finally getting his ring, but coming at the cost of a torn ACL. We'll get to that in the next hour as well. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're buying or selling a home, call Darren James. Get your home sold. Call the only realtor that sells more homes than anyone. Call Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. And the thing about Darren that always differentiates, that I tell you all the time, it's not just that he does so much volume, but the reason Darren and his team are able to do so much volume, the reason people like me continue to refer Darren over and over and over again is because despite his volume, he makes you feel like you are his only client. Do you realize that for every single person that sells or buys a home from Darren, he throws a party for you, a housewarming party for you and your family? It's things like that, the little things that mean such a big deal to a homeowner going through that big transformative life decision of buying or selling a home. So call Darren James, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Stafford from under center, steps back, throws the fade, back shoulder. Cooper Kupp's got it! Cooper Kupp brings it in! Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown, LA! With 1:25 remaining, the Rams are back on the high side.
You know, one of the weird things about that game, I don't know if it was maybe just the way NBC had it set up. There, by the way, that was courtesy of the Rams radio network. Cooper Kupp's, of course, go-ahead touchdown there at the end. And I understand that this is just part of the fact that, I mean, you've got a 50-50 crowd, right? You don't have a partisan crowd in the Super Bowl, even when it's played in a certain team's venue because of the way they distribute tickets. But it didn't seem like there were any moments where there was a crowd at full throat, even in the real dramatic moments, which was a little bit odd, even for the crowd being split the way it was. But Stafford to Cooper Kupp there for the game-winning touchdown. Stafford gets his ring, and after the game, Matt Stafford did talk about this team with obviously a season to be very proud of.
I'm so proud of this team. There's so many guys on our team that deserve this. So many great players, guys that have just given their heart and soul to this team, guys that are either playing in this game or not, because of injury or whatever it is. But I'm just so proud of this group. I mean, that game today is the story of our season. It's up and down, it's tough, and we're a freaking tough team. Showed up late and got it done. I'm excited.
Do you think Matt Stafford is a Hall of Famer? Did you and you and Mario talk about this today?
We did.
What's your verdict?
I don't think so as of right now. As of right now, no. I think there's still too much left. I mean, he's had one Pro Bowl. He wasn't even the Super Bowl MVP. He's been consistent. He's never led the league in anything. He's never been all pro. There's a lot left.
All right, Paulie, do you think?
I think he is.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
He's proven that he can win even on a bad team, and he's proven that he can, I don't know, I think his Hall of Fame moment is the whole thing whenever his shoulder is basically hanging off of him, and he comes back and scores a game-winning touchdown.
So I do agree with that point. Like the NFL, so in baseball, we marry ourselves to numbers, right? Yeah. Not so much anymore, but it used to be 500 homers, you're a Hall of Famer. Not anymore, but we understand why. 300 wins as a pitcher, Hall of Famer. Like, no doubt. Like, there are those benchmarks. In football, it's less that. It's more we marry ourselves to moments and images. Or like Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson played 9 seasons. Yeah. Hall of Famer, right? Because he was phenomenal. Played on bad teams. With Matt Stafford. Stafford was the one throwing the football. But Stafford got a Super Bowl ring, and that's the thing I think that will, if there were any doubts, push him over the top. And I'll point this out. If you look at the career passing yardage leaders, here you go. Tom Brady, Hall of Famer, we all know, okay? Breeze, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Peyton Manning is already in. Favre's already in. Roethlisberger's 5. He's going to get in. Phillip Rivers is 6. Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer? Like, we kind of have the same conversation, but Stafford now has the Super Bowl. Marino 7. I would put, as odd as this may sound, I would put Marino and Rivers actually in a similar category.
Yeah,
Marino did make it to Super Bowl in 84, but tons of stats, won a lot of games, made the playoffs, never won the big one. But see, we're talking about like the difference in football and baseball. Like, the thing that we're holding against Rivers or Marino would be, you didn't win the Super Bowl. You didn't win the big one. Stafford has that now. And to the point, Matt Ryan is 8th. Like, Ryan won an MVP.
Yeah.
He went to a Super Bowl. He's the 8th leading passer in the history of the NFL. Like, Matt Ryan's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Eli is 9. Eli won 2 Super Bowls. He had a bunch of losing seasons too, but he won 2 Super Bowls, and he's top 10 all-time in passing. Rodgers is 10th. He's getting in. We all know that. Elway's in. Then Matt Stafford. I mean, Stafford's right behind John Elway in career passing yards. Like, he's been consistently great for a long time, and now he has a Super Bowl. I do think Stafford is, if there was any doubt, I think this solidifies it for him. And followed by Warren Moon, who's in, Fran Tarkenton, who's in. Where next is where you get into the bleh, which is Carson Palmer, Vinny Testaverde, Drew Bledsoe, who are not in and probably won't get in. Yeah. But if any of those guys had a ring, maybe not Vinny because he played for like 20 years, but if Carson Palmer had a ring, he'd be in. If Bledsoe had not lost his job to Tom Brady, he'd have a much better case to be in. But I do think with that win yesterday, Matt Stafford did, in fact, solidify his Hall of Fame resume. I think he is going to be a Hall of Famer because he's not done, and he's going to keep climbing up. He gets into the top 10 in career passing yardage with a Super Bowl. I mean, he's there. He's going to be there. And now you give 17 games, so he's at 49-9. So he's just shy of 50,000 yards passing. I mean, he'll move past John Elway next season in the career passing yardage rank. So I do think it's going to happen for Matt Stafford, whether it should or shouldn't, certainly up for debate. What's our poll question today, Muse?
Poll question today, Citizens Bank poll question of the day. Vote on it at 1045 ESPN on Twitter. Will Joe Burrow get back to the Super Bowl in his career?
If you had to bet everything you own right now, what would you say?
I would say he will.
You have to bet all of it.
Yeah, I'm a homer. I would say that he will.
Okay, Paul, if you had to bet everything, I mean, this is Opal's future, keep in mind. This is your entire life. You, your wife, your daughter, all of it. Yes or no?
I say he does, but I hope he plays a really long time.
Yeah. Paulie's not betting.
So draft some offensive linemen so he can play a really long time, Cincinnati.
Really? Oh, my God. All right, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Georgia Bulldogs.
Tight end Brock Bowers dealing with a shoulder injury, of course, that he was dealing with to end the 2021 season. He's had shoulder surgery now. That ends, it will keep him out of spring practice. They do expect him to be good for fall camp. Bowers led Georgia in every receiving category as a freshman, which is amazing in and of itself. Georgia starts spring on March 15th.
The Auburn Tigers.
Outside linebacker / special teams coordinator Burt Watts. He's leaving Auburn for the NFL. Heading to be the Denver Broncos outside linebackers coach. Watts joined Auburn last January following one season at Memphis. He's bounced around a lot in his career. Now he's back to the NFL. Watts is the 5th assistant to leave Auburn since the end of the regular season. Brian Harston now has to replace Watts and still needs to hire a new OC.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
After being named preseason All-American and All-SEC as a closer, Vandy righty Nick Maldonado is likely to pitch out of the rotation this season. That according to coach Tim Corbin. Maldonado was draft eligible last year, opted to return to school. Corbin says he's yet to determine his starting rotation for the season opening series against Oklahoma State.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
The Bama Athletics Department is taking issue with the city of Tuscaloosa. As a matter of fact, AD Greg Byrne posted on his Twitter account today that Bama is being unreasonably targeted by the city for a fee, which is being imposed by the city of Tuscaloosa on tickets sold to sporting events where they plan on selling alcohol. Essentially, Bama was going to start selling alcohol at men's and women's basketball games and gymnastics events at Coleman Coliseum, but now the city of Tuscaloosa is saying they're going to impose a $1 fee on every ticket sold at an event where you plan to sell alcohol. So Alabama has had to put the kibosh on their plans to sell booze at Coleman Coliseum. There were no plans yet to sell booze at Bryant-Dennehy Stadium.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
And Tennessee's got a new Smokey. How about that? Welcome to the world, Smokey the 11th. Smokey the 10th, the, what do they call it? A blue tick coonhound. Smokey the 10th is retired. Now Smokey the 11th has been introduced. He'll make his debut this fall as the latest top dog there on Rocky Top. They announced the change on social media. Tennessee did. Smokey the 10th will have his 10th birthday on February 21st. He's been the mascot since 2013. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, so after further review, we'll talk some bracketology in 15 minutes from right now. Sorry, Paulie. Shelby Mast of USA Today, he'll be with us, talk about LSU, their resume, what they need to do with the remaining 4 games in the regular season, remaining 6 games in the regular season, and SEC tournament, what's their ceiling, what's the possible floor. We'll get to all that coming up in 15 minutes. All right, quick break. We'll come back. We have to reinstate a segment that we haven't done and should have been doing for a couple of weeks now. We'll do that next. AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Insurance Network of Louisiana because our friends over at Insurance Network of Louisiana save you money and combat against what I think is oftentimes pretty awful practices, and that's in the insurance business. Not to say that all insurance agents are bad, but really too many of us are overpaying and underinsured. I tell you it every single day. And the best part about Insurance Network of Louisiana, yes, you can save money on your insurance. You can get better coverage on your insurance. But the best part about it is there is no pressure sale. I want to be so abundantly clear about this. They're not selling you on anything. They go shop independently, dozens of the top-rated companies in the world. And they can either save you money and get you better coverage, or they can't. And if they can't, they just say, stick with what you got, because that's perfect. We can't do better than what you have. And it costs you nothing for them to shop. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new Jeep Gladiator Rubicons in stock with $2,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. And right now, get $2,000 bonus cash on new 2021 Jeep Gladiator. Shop now at BayouCDJR.com. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. Tired of living like a blind man. I'm sick aside without a sense of feeling. And this is how you remind me.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We hadn't talked about it yet, but Doug Dietz just texted the show. You can always text us in the 225. It's 396-4400, 396-4400. Said, check this out, only if Burrow had more time. This is making the rounds if you haven't seen it. On the final offensive play for Cincinnati where Aaron Donald he didn't sack Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow got the ball off, but Jamar Chase had beaten Jalen Ramsey. If you're watching, you see at the bottom there's Jamar and Ramsey. But if you're not watching, you can go search it on Twitter or anywhere. You can see it's not the all 22, but it's a shot. I wish I could give some type of photo credit here, but there's no photo credit on the picture. I don't know if it was a fan in the stands who took it, but it's a picture where you could see Burrow in Aaron Donald's grasp, and he's going down and kind of flinging the ball toward Pirine. And Jalen Ramsey, who was one-on-one with Jamar on the outside, Jamar's at about the 30, and Ramsey is face planting at about the 33. So Jamar had Jalen Ramsey beat if Burrow had been able to stay up, which, I mean, obviously it's not Joe Burrow's fault that Aaron Donald was falling on him, but had that been better blocked, yeah, I mean, you likely have the for the ages Super Bowl moment there from Burrow and Jamar Chase, but wasn't meant to be. All right, it's after further review. We were, where were we? It's like 2 Fridays ago, sitting at lunch with Terrio, and I looked up at the TV, and the Olympics were on. And then we were in San Francisco last week, Erica and I, and she had on like the Olympic Channel or something, and I went, we haven't been doing our medal count. So Muse, for the first time, are the Olympics almost over, by the way?
They have this full week. We've got a full week here.
This is the last week of the Olympics?
Yeah.
So they're almost over.
It's almost over.
It's basically been 2 weeks already. We have not done an Olympic.
We haven't done it.
To show you how disinterested I am in the Winter Olympics. For the first time, these Olympics, Matthew Musso with our Olympic update. Take it away, sir.
Well, we're doing this at the right time.
Are we?
Yes, because now it's time
Are
for
we whipping foreigners?
Well,
tell me we're whipping foreigners,
it's
Muse.
time for the USA to
Tell
make
me
their
we're
charge.
whipping them. Let's go.
Currently in third is the United States of America.
Wait. We're third?
Third.
In golds?
Actually, yes, but total medals as well.
Third. We're getting our butts kicked by a bunch of cold weather countries?
Well, I mean, the Russian Olympic Committee, although they have somebody who already got popped for a drug test again, so that could change. But they have 18 total medals to the U.S. is 16. And Norway actually leading the Olympics right now, Matt.
Norway?
With 21, yeah. Look,
what do they do in Norway?
They ski and they do snow things. Their main export is snow. It's Norway.
I don't think you can export snow, Muse.
Remember, I'm just saying.
It would just melt.
It snows a lot.
What the?
7 golds for the United States.
7 for the U.S.
For the U.S. total. Norway has 9. So, let's see. So, Norway, Matt, they've won gold medals.
Norway.
In cross-country women's skiathlon.
Okay.
The biathlon mixed 4x6 kilometer
That's the thing
relay.
Where you shoot the gun?
Yeah, it's so good. I like that one. Cross-country men's sprint freestyle skiing. freestyle skiing big air.
I got a great idea. Let's ski across the country and randomly fall down and shoot targets.
It's awesome.
It's stupid.
It's awesome. I like it. The U.S. did win a gold medal in women's snowboard cross, Lindsey Jacobellis. And then Lindsey Jacobellis won another gold medal with Nick Baumgartner in snowboard cross mixed. It was really awesome.
Watching this stuff?
I love the Olympics. And snowboard cross is awesome. I discovered that this year.
It sounds like you're actually watching this.
I love the Olympics are great. I love the Olympics.
The Olympics
really
are great. The Winter Olympics suck.
Fun. I like to cheer on my country.
They basically turned the X Games into the Olympics, or the Olympics into the X Games.
Speaking of which, Shaun White's career ended this year,
man.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Which was a great moment. It was a great moment, though. He got to skate or snowboard off into the into the sunset.
He lost.
Yeah, but come on. He's got 3 gold medals. Chloe Kim's really good.
He should have gone
She's
out in the last Olympics when he won a gold. You don't go out finishing 4th.
Hey, you say it all the time. The greats rarely go out on top.
But you should. Pull a Peyton Manning. Pull a John Elway. Pull an Andrew Whitworth. Go out on top.
So we have a week left, Matt. We got to make up some ground.
We got work to do. Oh, look, a commercial with Little Sweet. I like him. Little Sweet.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. I got in a wreck like at the end of December. It's been like 2 months now. Still don't have my car back. Not the body shop's fault. It's because it's just hard to get parts, and anyone who's been in a wreck knows that right now. But, man, I'm honestly, legitimately missing driving my Volkswagen. Like, having driven a Volkswagen now exclusively for almost 10 years, and different the Passat, the CC, the Atlas most recently, I've just become so familiar with the technology, the feel, the performance, the safety, the features, all of it. I miss it, man. I really miss driving. I can't wait to get it back. You can experience what it's like to drive a Volkswagen for yourself. SouthPointVW.com. New certified pre-owned. If it's on the lot, it's online. Go test drive one today. Airline just north of Highland or SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150, plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash, plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A hamstring injury will keep James Harden out until after the NBA All-Star break. The 76ers say their newly acquired guard won't play in the 2 games this week and the All-Star game on Sunday. Philly's first game out of the break is Friday, February 25th. Things apparently not well between the Cardinals and franchise quarterback Kyler Murray. ESPN's Chris Mortensen reporting frustration on both sides. Murray feels he's been framed as the scapegoat for the one and done in the playoffs. A source in the organization describing Murray as self-centered, immature, and somebody who points fingers. Ultimately, though, the Cards need to figure things out with their QB, says ESPN's Nita Kimes.
Murray is the one you build around here, Jeff. Granted, yes, he struggled in the playoffs. There is absolutely blame to be assigned there, but that's coming off a fantastic season. And if I'm an organization, again, regardless of what sort of emotions or disagreements are happening in the building, the number one thing you got to figure out is how do you make it work with a young quarterback going forward.
NHL star center Jack Eichel will return from a neck injury and make his Vegas Golden Knights debut on Wednesday against the Avalanche.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. It's great to be back. About 15 minutes from right now. Latest on Odell Beckham. Looks like he's got a torn ACL. What does it mean for him, both short and long term? We'll delve into all of that. LSU basketball got another win over the weekend after losing 6 of 7. Now they've won. They've now won back-to-back. And bracketology is responding favorably. Shelby Mast and Scott Gleason put out their bracketology at USA Today, and their latest update has LSU as a 6 seed playing in the East region out in Philadelphia, and Shelby Mast is able to join us here for a couple of minutes. Shelby, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
Good. How about you guys?
They're doing really well. Okay, let's just start with LSU's resume. What is the most either impressive, most important part of their resume right now?
They've got a win over Kentucky. That tops it all right now. Kentucky is playing very well. No, this is before Kentucky went on that big streak, but it still counts the same. So they got the win over Kentucky, and they've got 10 quad 1 and 2 wins. That's a big number.
So, and I know I ask you this every year, but I ask it more importantly to clarify for the audience, because people wonder sometimes, like, LSU's 6-6 in the league, so if you're in the middle of the league standings, some will wonder, well, like, how does that fit? Where does, at all, league standing matter at all?
Does not matter at all. Doesn't matter what league you're in or how you do. The committee and what I do, put all the teams together and try to sort through the best overall resume.
So I knew the answer, but it's important to ask for those listening to understand. So wherever you are in your conference rankings doesn't matter. It's about your total body of work and what that resume looks like. Now, what about LSU still, despite losing 6 of 7, still sitting there at 16 in the net? How impressive or how do you factor that in?
That's an impressive thing. They've been consistent, not with their play, but in the metrics. They're at 15, 16 on most of the metrics, and they've remained constant on net. That speaks well for them and the resume. I think it's good. It bodes well for them. They'll reap the benefits of being able to do that.
How did that ugly spot, that losing 6 of 7, how much did that knock LSU from where you perceived their peak to be to where they are now?
I had them, I think, their highest 2 seed. There may have been a high 3 seed, but it's brought them back down to 6. And I'm real close to locking them in, meaning they can lose all the rest of their games and still get in. But they don't want to do that because obviously for a worse seed, they probably end up with double digits if they did that. But the 6 feels right. It looks right by what they've done. I'm set on that right now.
So how many more wins? For example, let's say they win their next 2. They got Georgia and South Carolina. They win their next 2. Would you confidently say they're in, even if they lose their next 4 and lose their first SEC tournament game?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Georgia game is the big key. They have to beat Georgia at home. That one game is not enough to knock you out, especially where they are, but that'll do some damage. Georgia's not a good team, and they better not overlook them and go ahead and knock it out. And South Carolina may not even matter then, but win it just to be safe.
This is certainly a team, though, that has grander aspirations, so seeding is going to matter tremendously for their draw. Shelby Mast is with us, a bracketologist at bracketwag.com, USA Today as well. He and Scott Gleason put together their bracketology. The latest is out right now if you want to go read it at USA Today. A couple more about LSU, then I want to talk SEC and field. Realistically, what would be a ceiling for this LSU team right now?
I would say right now, if they could beat Kentucky again, they could get back to the 3-1. That'd be tough to do, and it needs help. But I think that's a real possibility, and we're going to find out more this Saturday when the committee reveals their top 15 teams and 1 through 4 seeds in every region. If LSU is even mentioned, the committee favors them pretty well. If they're not, it's okay. But they're not as highly thought of as other teams.
A couple of other, when I look at the SEC as a whole, Shelby, you got 6 teams in right now and 2 sort of bubble teams with Florida and Mississippi State. Realistically, what do Florida and Mississippi State have to do to get in?
They got to get a win. I mean, there's no 2 ways about it. They got to do what they can to try to win every single game they've got left and have a good showing in the SEC tournament. I don't see that happening, but it's a tough path that they put themselves in this position.
The league as a whole, you got the 6 teams in. Which team do you think has the most runway to move either up or, well, I mean, I guess anybody can move down, but to move up, maybe an LSU, in Arkansas, and Alabama? What do you think?
I think probably Alabama because they had a very tough non-conference, tougher than everybody. So they can live off that, and that's going to boost them up. I don't will, but I think they have the most behind them to get a higher seed.
Is Auburn the best team in college basketball?
I don't know. I think Kentucky's awful good, and Gonzaga's good too. I hope at least 2 of them make it to the Final Four. I want to see it.
Man, it would be fascinating if it did play out that way. If you ended up with 2 SEC teams, the league has put a ton of emphasis on basketball, and it's heading that way. Biggest surprises for you right now in the entire field? What would you say as you were putting this together? What stood out most to you?
I think the Mountain West Conference. Wyoming has been phenomenal this year. 21-3. They're going to have 3, maybe 4 teams in, and West Coast Conference, same thing, 3, maybe 4 teams in, and you compare that with the ACC, they may only get 3 or 4 teams in. So that's one of the big boys, and then here you got mid-major with Mountain West and West Coast Conference looking eye to eye with them.
He is Shelby Mast on Twitter at BracketWAG, at BracketWag. If you want to go give him a follow, the latest USA Today bracketology is out. Got LSU as a 6th seed there in the East region, playing in Milwaukee to start it out against San Francisco if it were to play that way. Shelby, we appreciate it. I'm probably going to bother you again before middle of March.
Glad to do.
We appreciate it. Thanks so much as always. It's very telling when you're living through it, as disappointing as it is to see your team lose 6 of 7. That's very much a reality check. Hearing a guy like that who says basically beat Georgia and you can lose out and you're still going to be in the field. As disappointing or discouraging as the losses were, that tough stretch, you've come through it and you've seen the body of work. And I know every year in November we're talking about this, but Will Wade looks at his non-conference schedule as a math equation. And I know a couple of years ago on his coach's show, he talked about this and he went into great detail about it. We played it, and he even said on the coach's show when he was talking about it, he's like, I know this is boring, people, I don't care. No, it's fascinating because it gives you a glimpse into the mind of how a team like LSU could be at 6-6 in the league right now, having lost 6 of 7 at one point in the middle, and to still be looking at a 6 seed with room, as you heard Shelby say, that you beat Kentucky, you're back on the 3 line. So beat Georgia, beat South Carolina, avoid a bad loss, get another big win, because another big win offsets the bad loss of losing at home to Ole Miss, which is a quad 3 loss. So the only way you offset in the minds of the committee a bad loss is a good win. Well, you offset an Ole Miss loss with a really good win, which would be on the road at Kentucky. So see if they can get it. First things first, LSU against Georgia on Wednesday at the Maravich Center, and then Saturday they're at South Carolina. See if they can have another big week. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're with us here. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all, we'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, I do want to talk a little Odell Beckham, torn ACL, but LSU Super Bowl streak continues with both Beckham and Whitworth. That's next. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. All right, y'all, been telling you for several weeks now about the big event coming up with Clegg's Nursery and the Dream Day Foundation. You can learn more at dreamdayfoundation.org, dreamdayfoundation.org. The scavenger hunt is this weekend. It's this Saturday at the Clegg's on Segan. It's a great event. It's going to be a scavenger hunt that's family-friendly, that's kid-friendly. Football's over, so if you're looking for something to do for the whole event or for the whole family, the Dream Day Foundation scavenger hunt at the Clegg's Nursery on Segan. You can go to dreamdayfoundation.org to enter, dreamdayfoundation.org. It'll be this Saturday, 9 to 4 at Clegg's on Segan. It's going to be a fun, prize-filled day out at Clegg's. Hopefully we have awesome weather benefiting a great organization, the Dream Day Foundation. So learn more at dreamdayfoundation.org or enter at dreamdayfoundation.org. Register today at dreamdayfoundation.org.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new Jeep Gladiator Rubicons in stock with $2,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $2,000 bonus cash on new 2021 Jeep Gladiator. Shop now at BayouCDJR.com. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person. Connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
3rd and 3. Stafford going to the end zone, reaching up and making the grab. Odell Beckham Jr. Halfway through the season, they showed him the door in Cleveland. Said basically, get out of here. Rams took him, scores the first touchdown of the Super Bowl.
Al Michaels on the call. Odell Beckham with the first touchdown of Super Bowl 56. But his day did not come without cost. 2 receptions for Odell, including that touchdown, but also a torn ACL. Whenever we watched it happen and you see a non-contact injury from a skilled player like that when he goes down, we've just seen it enough to know exactly what it was going to be. But Ian Rappaport earlier today was the first to tweet it. Beckham believed to have torn his ACL in the Super Bowl win. Means a long road to recovery for the free agent who has a challenge to be ready for 2022. Beckham had 2 catches for 52 yards, a touchdown, and 1 moonwalk before the injury, as Rappaport pointed out there in his tweet. So after the game, there was no media availability for Odell, but CBS Sports cameras did catch up with him sort of in the bowels of SoFi Stadium, and this is what Odell had to say briefly.
How does it feel to be Super Bowl champ?
Man, world champion, man. God is good, you know. It was all a part of the plan, so I'm just happy to be here.
Good spirits. Devastating to see him walk off the way he did, injured. And, I know also that Odell's had a really interesting relationship with the NFL, with LSU fans, certainly, with everybody in the NFL. He, as a rookie, came into the league and it took the league by storm. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year and had one of the most famous catches in NFL history on Sunday Night Football against the Giants, or for the Giants against the Cowboys. And despite his stardom, he didn't handle that well. He continued playing exceptionally well in New York, but then all of the antics kind of caught up to him, and the Giants decided to move on. So they trade him to the Browns. He reunited with Jarvis, which looked and said, okay, it's a new beginning for Odell, which is going to serve him exceptionally well. And it didn't. He tore his ACL there in Cleveland as well, against the Bengals, incidentally. And it never really worked for Odell in Cleveland. As a matter of fact, he went almost 2 years without a 100-yard receiving game until in the playoffs with the Rams. I mean, it was literally a situation where Cleveland they cut him. I mean, Odell Sr. posted the video of all the times that Baker Mayfield sort of missed Odell Jr., and it got to the point where Cleveland just said, we're done. Just get out of here. So you kind of wonder what was going to be next for Odell. And I know selfishly we all wanted Odell here in New Orleans, as the Saints were desperate for receiving help. And Beckham certainly could have been a giant help. But in the end, he picked a situation that was a better situation. Knew who he'd be catching balls from in Matt Stafford in that offense where they knew how to use him. And he emerged in the regular season, 8 games with the Rams, 27 receptions for 300 yards and 5 scores in those 8 regular games. And look at the postseason. Again, 27 receptions in 8 regular season games, 21 receptions in the 4 postseason games with 288 and 2 touchdowns. So Beckham becomes a Super Bowl champion, one of the most famous players in the NFL, and at his peak, one of the best receivers we've ever seen. He was setting records. He was pacing setting records for most receptions for a player in his first year, and then 2 years, most receiving yards first year, 2 years, which it was incredible to see, bested only then by Jarvis as he came in. But for Odell, it's a little bit of a conflicting moment. And I look at Odell, honestly, in a very similar way. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar to the comments that I made about Jameis when the Saints brought him in. And so many people only wanted to talk about crab legs and eating a W and all that sort of stuff. And the reality is that sometimes guys who are young and reach superstardom don't handle it well. And Odell, I don't think did. I don't think he handled all of that well. But he's met adversity, being shipped out of New York and then cut by Cleveland. He's had to grow up through an ACL tear. And if you notice the video that's making the rounds with he and his mom and his girlfriend, he's an expected father right now as well. And a lot of that stuff just forces you to grow up. And I think that's happened for Odell, and I sure hope it has, because I enjoyed covering him during his time at LSU, and he's a phenomenal football player, and he's got to battle through now a second torn ACL in his left knee, and he's set to be a free agent here in a few weeks. And what will teams be willing to pay for him remains to be seen. But he's a undeniable freak show talent when healthy and right. How right will he get again? I don't know. But this is has to be a very validating moment for Odell, considering all of the darts. I mean, he's been target practice for a lot of talking heads over the last half decade or so. And now he's a Super Bowl champion. Listen, I hate the Rams, even more so because of the Nola no call and everything that happened thereafter. But I do feel good individually for people on that team. I feel very good for Odell Beckham winning a championship. I feel very good for Andrew Whitworth winning a championship. I think Matthew Stafford's one of the good guys in the NFL who suffered for a decade in Detroit. You know what Matthew Stafford was Detroit's Archie Manning. He's the best player they ever had, but was just on terrible teams. I mean, that's the best equation I can give you to something here that would make sense. Great player, terrible teams. No matter how good that quarterback was, the teams were never going to be any better than they were when they reached the heights that he brought them to. I think Cooper Kupp's a great story, right? I mean, Eastern Washington, the video of him working out for Sean McVay on the red field. I mean, now he's a Super Bowl MVP. There's some great stories there. And I think Odell's as good of him as any. And I hope this is one of those moments for him where it's not the end of the story, but it's just the next chapter of the story where whatever's left in his career is very productive and fruitful and leads him toward the Hall of Fame, which he was certainly on that trajectory before, the misgivings in New York, being, not productive and being cut in Cleveland, but now showed again what he is and what he can be when he's right, which is awesome. I think all LSU fans should be happy for him and should be cheering for Odell Beckham. So congrats to OBJ, a Super Bowl champion, along with Andrew Whitworth. So the list of former LSU Tigers that have won a Super Bowl grows, and LSU did post this graphic as well as an ode to Andrew Whitworth. Players that won a national championship and a Super Bowl. Andrew Whitworth now joins that number, as well as there are 16 players that have won both. So congrats to the LSU guys for being able to hoist a trophy last night. I know a lot of people were pulling for Burrow and Chase and the Bengals, but don't forget about Odell and Big Whit as well. Great moment for those two guys. All right, it's after further review. I'm going to move away from the Super Bowl for a segment when we come back, because I want to talk about the Michael Thomas news. Speaking of Ian Rappaport, he tweeted some news about Mike Thomas over the weekend that I want to circle back to, so we'll get to that. Muse will have Tigers and the pros. At the top of hour 3, I do want to talk about what is our poll question of the day, which is, will Joe Burrow get back to a Super Bowl? Muse, can you update our poll question? Look that up real quick. Let me remind people about ShawBills. ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana, including their newest location in Denham Springs. That's right, ShawBills is now in Livingston Parish. Out in the LP, y'all don't have to go far because you have your own ShawBills now. ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. No one is going to get you cheaper prices on the best tires on the road than ShawBills. Maybe it's a combination of the manufacturer's special or promotional offer and their in-house offer. Like I tell you all the time, use your ShawBills credit card. The first purchase you make, they'll give you $50 off. A lot of times when you install tires with your ShawBills credit card, if you use that, they'll give you free installation. Check it all online at ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab. ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab, and you'll see all the ways that they'll help you save at ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBills, where we keep you rolling. All right, Muse, update our poll question, if you would.
So Citizens Bank poll question of the day, will Joe Burrow get back to the Super Bowl? 79.4% say yes, 20.6% say no. 79.4% say yes.
Oh, and 20.6.
And 20.6.
Okay, let's say 26. No. I was like, wait, the math didn't make sense. Okay. I mean, look, we got a very partisan audience, obviously. But I would also say, man, like, it's hard to bet against Joe Burrow. I mean, that's kind of where and nuts and bolts, it's like, are you going to bet against that guy? Because I'm not. I mean, he's managed to do it at every level. It's no reason to think he wouldn't do it now. But as we'll delve into, it's really hard. It's really hard to get back. Something I think Saints fans have taken for granted for a long time. Just watching. Let me rephrase it. I think all NFL fans have taken for granted how hard it is because we lived in the Brady era, where you saw a quarterback go to 10 Super Bowls and win 7 of them. It's just never going to happen again. You witnessed the greatest ever. So it's caused us all to completely lose perspective on just how difficult that is to do. All right, it's AFR. I do want to talk about the latest on Michael Thomas, the report from Ian Rappaport over the weekend. That's coming up. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
So we told you all leading up to the new year about the Baton Rouge General Hospital's The Healthy Men Project. Well, they're taking it a step further, as that is still full on rolling right now. The Healthy Men Project screening is going to happen this Saturday at the Mid-City location. So the Mid-City location is on Florida Boulevard. It's at entrance 4. You can go to the website at brgeneral.org, and you can get all the info right there. But we've told you about the Healthy Men Project, which is encouraging men to be proactive about your health care. And so there's going to be free screenings like cholesterol and glucose testing and grip strength and balance assessments and body fat percentage and allergy screening, eye assessments, blood pressure checks. You can get it all for free. It's a free event, again, this weekend at the Baton Rouge General Hospital, the Mid-City location on Florida Boulevard. Again, it's this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's the Healthy Men Project, courtesy of the Baton Rouge General Hospital.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1990.
Further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
They rush forward. Burrow to throw for it. He's hit. He's hit. He's sacked. He throws it away. He flings it away on fourth down. Aaron Donald got there. Donald takes his helmet off in celebration. He flips Burrow to the turf and forces the incompletion on 4th and 1. He signals to his ring finger on his left hand. And you can build that man's statue out SoFi Stadium right now. The greatest of all time on defense does it in the biggest moment of Super Bowl 56.
You think so? You gonna build Aaron Donald a statue? Maybe. Look, I mean, there's no denying he's one of the greatest defensive players we've ever seen. He's only 30 years old. He's been to 8 Pro Bowls. He's 7-time All-Pro on the All-Decade team in 2010. I mean, he's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and now he's won a Super Bowl. So, I mean, one of the greatest we've ever seen. That's undeniable defensively. Statue? I don't know, man. I guess I didn't give much thought. I don't have much perspective on the Rams' history and to whom they might build a statue. Those tend to seem to be reserved for quarterbacks and skill guys. But I guess if you were going to build one for a defensive player in Rams history, he'd be a good place to start. Here was Aaron Donald, by the way, after winning the first Super Bowl of his career.
You got to be relentless, man. It's about you want something bad enough, you got to go get it. It was right in front of us. We had the lead. It was put on the defensive shoulders, to make the big stop to help us be world champions. So you want one another way. All off season, you work, you train, you got camp, you got long seasons that just for this one game to be the last team standing. You got to give it all, give it everything you got, man. And it's about being relentless, showing up when you need to. Big time players make big time plays in big time games, and it's truly a blessing to have the opportunity to play this game. But not just play this game, play with great teammates, great coaches, a great organization, man. Been here 8 years, a lot of ups and downs. So to see it come full circle, and be a world champion, all that hard work you put into this game, that's what it's for. So it's like finally mission complete. So it feels great.
Aaron Donald said he's contemplating retirement. Do you believe him?
I do.
Do you believe he will retire?
No.
Paulie, do you believe he will retire?
No chance.
Right. Aaron Donald's not retiring. He's got, I looked it up today, $35 million remaining on his contract.
It's a good reason to play a little bit longer.
Now he's made
That's true too.
He's made 9 figures. So you can certainly walk away, but 30 years old, and I believe it was Von Miller who said it best. He said, winning the Super Bowl is addicting. And if you're Aaron Donald to walk away at this point, would I guess there's no better time to do it if you're going to do it. And it's not unprecedented. And especially as we go through the era of learning more about CTE, head injuries, bodily harm done to guys, especially in the trenches, you've started to see it, right? Chris Borland walked away early. Calvin Johnson walked away early. Who's the other linebacker from the 49ers? Who Patrick Willis did, but there's another linebacker from the Niners I'm forgetting who retired in his 20s. Someone will post it and remind me. But Aaron Donald still got 2 more years on this current contract, and I'm looking for the exact dollar amount. Looks like it's a base of 28 with $10 million in bonuses, so $38 million roughly remaining if he wants to play 2 more years. I could suck it up for 2 more years. Similar question we're all asking about Michael Thomas. So where does Michael Thomas stand right now? There's been a question asked a lot this offseason about what the Saints' plans will be for the wide receiver who's missed the bulk of 2 seasons. After setting the NFL single-season record for receptions in 2019, he's basically missed 2 years with that ankle injury. And it's not just that he's missed time with the injury, but there was also the reason he missed the 2021 season and not disclosing, basically ghosting the franchise that had paid him 9 figures or committed 9 figures to him. Well, over the weekend, Sean Payton obviously is no longer the head coach of the Saints. There's now Dennis Allen's team. And Ian Rappaport over the weekend did have an update on Michael Thomas.
It seems the curiosity and saga surrounding Michael Thomas, the Saints standout receiver, is coming to a close in a positive way for all parties. Of course, Michael Thomas missed last season with a foot injury and then had surgery late, and then, of course, a setback. Ended up having surgery again, and it just never quite got right. I am told 2 important factors in the Michael Thomas situation. One, he has spent considerable time in New York after another setback with his foot, getting weekly treatments. That's where he has been really since the regular season ended, after he announced and made it clear that he was not coming back. The other part of it is he is back in New Orleans now. He has been communicating with the team. I am told they are not expected to trade him, and they want him back. So expect Michael Thomas back with the New Orleans Saints and, of course, new coach Dennis Allen for the 2022 season.
Okay, so that is great news. It's also should be very obvious news, because I have told you and everyone who would listen to this for weeks and weeks, actually probably months and months and months, all the way through the beginning of last season, when a lot of you like, cut him, trade him. The Saints were never going to cut or trade Michael Thomas. Look at his contract, people. Like, this is you committed $96.25 million to Michael Thomas over 5 years. You gave the dude 9 figures, all right? You are in a situation where, as a franchise, you're $70 million over the cap right now. If you were to cut Michael Thomas or trade him or release him, basically, if Michael Thomas was not on your roster in 2022, he has a dead cap hit of $22.7 million, meaning he would count $22 million against your cap to not be on the team. Now, his cap hit is 24.7. So if you cut him, you'd only save about $2 million, but you'd save $2 million. If you cut him, released him, trade him, whatever, you'd save $2 million. That's not significant enough to do away with one of the best receivers in the NFL. What's more is that Thomas does have a base salary of more than $15 million in other bonuses. So he is a prime candidate for a restructure. He's got the second highest cap figure on the roster for next year. Because of the way it's set up right now, he is a prime candidate to restructure his deal. This is what Kai Harley does. We know it, and he's looking for who on the roster, whose contracts would fit. This is probably the place you start. Like, this is the first guy you go to. You take that base, you convert it to bonus, as they know how to do. They'll restructure it. They'll move that money to the future years if it's in the back end of this contract. And yes, it means his cap hit will go up in future years, and it's already high. It's $25 million in 2023 and $24 million in 2024. But the dead cap money number goes down. Either way, the point is, Michael Thomas, it's too expensive for him not to be on your roster this year. He's a prime candidate to restructure, which is going to help get you under the cap. And do I need to remind y'all how, can I say piss poor? Can I say that on radio? How piss poor the Saints were at throwing the football this year? Y'all, the New Orleans Saints were dead last in the NFL in passing offense. Dead last. 32nd out of 32 teams. The worst. No one was worse than New Orleans in the pitch and catch game this year in the NFL. Literally the worst in the league. You mean to tell me having a healthy Michael Thomas wouldn't instantly make you better no matter who the quarterback is? And save all your stuff. Save all your stuff by the attitude, the diva. Come on, man. The guy in 2020 tried to get back on the field despite a severe ankle injury and played through it, came back late in the year, played in the playoffs. Yeah, goes to the team, and I'm not excusing that. But they also had a disagreement on treatment, and his side of the story will tell one day and all that, whatever. I'm still not saying, I'm not telling you he was right by what he did. But he's clearly committed himself to being engaged, to being involved, to being open, to getting treatment, to being healed, to getting back on the field, which is fantastic. Michael Thomas in 2019 had 1,725 receiving yards. Y'all, Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris, Traquan Smith combined this year didn't have 1,700 receiving yards. Do you understand what I just said? Your top 3 receivers this year didn't combine for the receiving yardage Michael Thomas had the last time he was healthy. And let me also remind you, that was a season where Drew Brees smashed his thumb on Aaron Donald's helmet and missed 5 games. In those 5 games, with Teddy Bridgewater throwing him the football, Michael Thomas averaged 8.4 receptions per game and 110 yards per game over those 5. 8 catches for 110 he averaged over the 5 games without Drew Brees. So if it's Jameis Winston or whoever else, Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Baker Mayfield or Derek Carr, throw out whatever quarterback y'all want to throw out that you think the Saints should go over, or they should draft Matt Corral or Kenny Pickett. I don't care. Whoever it is. Whoever you think in your brain the Saints should have as a quarterback next year, it doesn't matter. Whoever that person is and whoever the offensive coordinator is, they are instantly better by having number 13 on the field. And the Saints know that. And they've known it all along. And maybe now this is just when it's coming out, and Rappaport had the report, and good for him for putting it out there, but that's best for Michael Thomas. It's also best for the New Orleans Saints, the organization, the salary cap, whoever the next quarterback is, whoever the next offensive coordinator is. Removing Michael Thomas complicates this more so for everybody. It takes away your best offensive play, especially now knowing that Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended for at least 6 games. This is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, but it's great to see. So you start wrapping your head around it, understanding he's going to be back, start building around that giant piece, knowing he's going to be back and healthy in 2022. All right, it's after further review. Muse is going to have Tigers in the Pros. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, online, theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Remember, hormone replacement therapy. Tell you about it all the time. No matter your age, your gender, if you're a man or a woman, how old the number is next to your age, we all age at a different rate. Every one of us. Our body, as we age, produces less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. That's growth hormone, that's testosterone, that's estrogen, that's all. Our bodies, as we age, produces less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. And it happens at a different rate in every single person. And I'm going to tell you from experience, a lot of times you don't know how bad you feel until you start feeling good again. And I'm in that number. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. All right. It's after further review. Muse will have Tigers in the Pros when we come back. And then in 15 minutes, will Joe Burrow get back to the Super Bowl? Have my thoughts on it. Is Andrew Whitworth a Hall of Famer? We're going to talk about that in hour number 3 as well. And an update on LSU baseball. First pitch, Friday. Hard to believe, man. We're right there on the precipice of the debut, the dawning of a new era, the Jay Johnson era out at the box. It's this Friday. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here. Quick break. Muse will have Tigers in the Pros next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out. Awesome day. Super Bowl Sunday at Pluckers. Of course, wings are the most consumed food on Super Sunday. That's why everybody ate Pluckers yesterday. Of course you did. But Monday's a great night, too, because Mondays at Pluckers are all-you-can-eat wings. So pay one price and eat as many wings as you can all night long until close. It's at Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. If you want to watch the Pels, they're at home tonight against Toronto. Want a place to watch? Get by Pluckers. You don't have Bally Sports New Orleans? Great. I got your solution. Pluckers does. So go to Pluckers and watch the game tonight. Pelly's making a little bit of a run right now. Little CJ McCollum action. Get on by and watch it at Pluckers. College basketball, the NBA, it's all on TV all year long for you at Pluckers. Nicholson just out the campus, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Pluckers if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Thinking about a new car for the new year? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, where you never pay over MSRP. There's no markups, no gains. You can reserve yours today. Make the decision now. Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
One thing I said that I would never do. A look from you and I would fall from.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
As you know, we mentioned at the in the last play, or the Aaron Donald play where he got Burrow and Burrow flung it. It was the last offensive play for Cincinnati. I got a text in the text line from Matthew, who said, hey, if Burrow would have made that pass on 4th down, I would have won my 5-leg parlay and hit $31,000. Now, I wanted to clarify. I was like, but you needed the Bengals to win the game, right? So, I mean, it wouldn't have been all in. Like, he's assuming touchdown and win. Okay. So he said you need Burrow to have over 1.5 touchdowns, which that would have hit there because Joe Mixon threw a touchdown pass, and then Burrow hit the long one to T. Higgins. So that would have been number 2. And then they would have had to win. So he had over 4.5 rushing yards for Stafford, under 24.5 completions for Burrow, Bengals money line, Mixon under 16.5 rushing attempts, which would have hit, and then Burrow over 1.5 touchdowns. So if Burrow would have hit Chase there and the Bengals win, do $131,000 on a now he did bet. Well, he sent it to me, so I'm looking at it. He bet $762, but he was at plus 4,000 on the odds. So he would have turned $700 into $31,000 if that would have been a touchdown. That's a pretty tough beat. Like
that sucks.
It's not a guarantee though, right? And still, even so, I know we gotta go. Even if I'm trying to pull this up real quickly. How much time was in the game when Burrow was sacked?
23 seconds, I think.
So we saw Patrick Mahomes work magic in 13 seconds. Yeah. So it wouldn't have been completely over, but
or 39 seconds.
No, there were 43 seconds. 43 seconds. So the Rams, with their timeouts, would have very much had a chance there. Now, they would have needed a touchdown, but that stinks. Betting's fun. Use DraftKings, by the way. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Let's talk a little bit of Super Bowl here and Tigers in the pros. Joe Burrow didn't hit Jamar Chase on that pass there, but he did complete 22 of 33 passes in the game for 263 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, carried the ball twice for 3 yards. Joe Burrow sacked 7 times for 43 yards, 6 of them in the second half. And the Bengals still almost won the game. Jamar Chase pulled in 5 receptions off of 8 targets for 89 yards, had a long of 46. Also carried the ball once for 4 yards. On the other side, for the Los Angeles Rams, Odell Beckham Jr., 2 receptions on 3 targets for 52 yards. The game's first touchdown, a long of 35. OBJ would leave the game with a knee injury, non-contact. Ian Rappaport reports it is likely a torn ACL. Andrew Whitworth, shout out to Big Whit, gets the Super Bowl victory. Obviously became one of 3 players in NFL history to play in a Super Bowl at 40 years old, joining Tom Brady and Jerry Rice. Also, Andrew Whitworth became the 10th member of LSU's 2003 national championship team to win a Super Bowl. The others, Devery Henderson, Michael Clayton, Justin Vincent, Eric Alexander, Corey Webster, Joseph Adai, Randall Gay, Donnie Jones, and the late Marquise Hill. Shout out LSU Sports Information and Michael Bonnet for that little tidbit.
That was a good tidbit. And Eric Alexander shouted out Marquise Hill as well after that. He replied. Marquise Hill was awesome, man. Golly. On too soon.
NBA action, Cam Thomas, another outstanding performance for Cam in a Nets loss. 32 minutes, 8 of 18 from the field, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. How about this, Matt? Cam's point total from his last 5 games are as follows. 30, 20, 17, 27, and then the 22 on Saturday.
Got him. I have one request, though, Paulie. Can we get a shot of Cam that's not like the NBA Summer League jersey? Like the dude's playing legit minutes and scoring double figures every night. Let's at least get a shot of the man in his game jersey. Let's do it.
And lastly, Naz Reid last night, 23 minutes. 3 of 8 from the floor, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. 13 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, and 3 blocked shots.
Yeah, you know why he was at the free throw line? Because he couldn't finish.
He couldn't finish.
He'd finished if he'd stayed.
That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. It is Valentine's Day. So, guys, if you didn't get her anything and you're just now realizing that, don't rush to the drugstore to get a card. Go home, take your medicine, and then tomorrow go to Lee Michaels. Or go to Lee Michaels right now before they close and buy her something there. You'll win, I promise. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. All right, hour 3. Will Joe Burrow get back to the Super Bowl? We'll talk about it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. So yesterday, flying from San Francisco to New Orleans, SFO to MSY. Of course, we had to put our luggage on the scales there, and I was very attentive to notice that, yes, in fact, there are Michelli stickers there. If you weigh or measure something, Michelli sells, services, and rents the products you use to weigh and measure, like chocolate. They pointed this out on social media. This Valentine's Day. Did you know that 58 million pounds of chocolate are sold in the U.S. every year during the week of Valentine's? 58 million pounds! How are you going to measure all that? How about gigantic scales from Michelli? Or if you're the company packaging the chocolate, well, that cellophane has to be a certain density, or it's got to be a certain pressure, and got to package it all well, be the right weight for shipping. Michelli makes you more efficient. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. For Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Check them out online. 75 years strong. Michelli.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I'm Christine Lisi. An announcement from the 76ers that guard James Harden will miss the team's final 2 games before the All-Star break and the NBA All-Star game in Cleveland Sunday. He's still rehabbing his hamstring strain. Team hoping he can make his Philly debut before the end of the month. The Sixers' first game after the break is Friday, February 25th. Should be an interesting NFL offseason in Arizona. ESPN's Chris Mortensen reports the Cardinals and quarterback Kyler Murray at odds. He thinks he's being framed as the scapegoat for the one and done in the playoffs. A source said the organization feels Murray self-centered, immature, and somebody who points fingers. A tough spot for both sides, says our Keyshawn Johnson.
I don't know how they fix it. I mean, I'm sure they're going to work on it, but I don't think that in that building they're convinced that he is the guy long-term moving forward for them. And I mean long-term beyond next year. And we'll see. He doesn't like the way that they've been dealing with him and handling his situation.
Key of Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max. NHL star center Jack Eichel will return from a neck injury and make his Vegas Golden Knights debut on Wednesday against the Avalanche. He is slotted as the Knights' #1 center.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, all your protection. Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. Are we here? Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Great to be back here in the big chair. Enjoyed some time away. Eric and I took a trip to the Bay Area, did Napa and all that good stuff. 10th anniversary, 10th wedding anniversary. So enjoyed the time away. Appreciate Musso and Mario for filling in while I was out. But really good to be back and recapping Super Bowl 56, which the day did not disappoint. It was a really competitive game right down to the very end. I mean, inside the final minute, Cincinnati obviously had a chance to win it. You had big plays. You had big defensive moments. You had key special teams plays. The commercials, I thought, landed for the most part. And the halftime show, many are considering one of the greatest ever. I would put it up in my top 3, which are there's one that I think will never be unseated, but which we'll talk about in a little while. But overwhelmingly, I thought Super Bowl Sunday it delivered in a big way. If there was a disappointing part of Super Bowl Sunday for people in this area, obviously, it is the fact that Joe Burrow came up just short. And many would have loved to have seen Joe Burrow become just the third quarterback ever to do something that we talked about a lot leading up to the game, which was win a national championship and a Super Bowl. Only Joe Namath and Joe Montana had previously done so, and Burrow was trying to join them. But in the end, 23-20, the Rams end up winning Super Bowl 56. The Bengals had a lead until inside of the final 2 minutes when the Rams were able to score on the passing touchdown from Stafford to Cooper Kupp. That brilliant 15-play drive that ate up nearly 5 minutes and was risky, and obviously the fourth down conversion. And credit the Rams. I mean, they made some tremendous plays late in that ball game. They talked about Matt Stafford making a no-look pass drive as well, which is incredible to see how it's all played out. But overwhelmingly, a great day, but disappointing end for Burrow and the Bengals after such a magical run. And Joe Burrow afterwards talked to the media, and he did talk about the season as a whole and how, despite the way it finished, there's still a lot there to be proud of.
I watched the football life of Kurt Warner, last week when we had a little break. And, I kind of thought about this in the locker room, and when they lost one, and, later within the documentary he said that, they let it sting too much, that they didn't celebrate what they accomplished. So, we're going to, obviously it stings, but, we had a great year. Didn't come out this last game the way we wanted to, but I think, we still have something to celebrate.
That's great perspective. And Burrow was snippy at one point.
Joe, how much does this sting?
Yeah, it hurts. We put a lot of work into going out there and executing and performing well, and it didn't turn out the way we wanted, so, it's disappointing.
Understandably disappointing. But even still, when the Bengals got the ball with 2 timeouts, and especially after the first down play to Jamar Chase for 17 yards on the left sideline, didn't you think they were going to do it? I at least think this was going to overtime. I mean, McPherson had been so good, and I love the shot, by the way, of McPherson, the Bengals kicker, sitting on the bench watching the halftime show. He didn't go into the locker. Kickers are not part of the team. They're just not. They matter tremendously, but if any other player had been sitting on the bench watching the halftime show instead of being in the locker room with the team, you'd have been completely excommunicated. But there was McPherson. I thought they were at least headed for a dramatic field goal to send it to overtime. But as it plays out, it didn't go that way. But look, Burrow, after the game, said as much that, they thought that's where they were headed.
When we hit that first play, I thought we were going to go down and at least get a field goal to tie the game and send it into overtime. You got to give credit to them. They played their tails off for those 4 plays and stopped us on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. So, credit to them.
It's true that Cincinnati did have 2 plays to try to get a yard. So there's been this question all day about if Joe Burrow will make it back to a Super Bowl. It's actually our poll question of the day. And understand we're a super biased audience here, where 80% of our respondents to the poll question have said, yeah, he's going to make it back. And I think that's the assumption most have. And I to be very clear, I would not bet against Joe Burrow. I would not bet against him. He's magnificent. And he has won at every level. And he has that thing, whatever that thing is, that we look at and we go, it makes you different. He's got that thing. And I wouldn't bet against that. There are disappointments. We've talked a lot about guys who got there early, never got back. But we can talk about all-time greats as well who had early disappointment and still rallied to have amazing careers. LeBron James is a great example of that. I understand it's a basketball comparison, but LeBron got to the finals with Cleveland and got swept. He got to the finals the first time in Miami, and they lost. And he's gone on now to have one of the greatest careers ever. And I think Burrow could, provided they keep him upright, could be in that same conversation by the time his career ends because he has that thing. Even Brady lost 3 Super Bowls. It happens. I'm not saying he's Brady, but what I am saying is that it's easy to say he'll be back. It's tougher to do. Everyone's brought up Dan Marino today. As a matter of fact, shortly after the game, Dan Marino was trending on Twitter. As a random aside, I feel very badly for Dan Marino in that respect. I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the game. He just was on teams that couldn't get back. Not entirely his fault. Not that dissimilar from Matt Stafford. But, 1984, Dan Marino was in the second year in the league. He threw for 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns. Lost the Super Bowl. They lost to Joe Montana and the Niners. And everyone assumed Marino would get back, and they never did. I can remember there was a moment when Dan Marino was doing TV for CBS, and he was sitting next to Boomer Esiason, and Boomer made a comment like, this is years ago, but he made a comment like that about one of the quarterbacks they were discussing. He said, is this going to be this generation's Dan Marino? With Dan Marino sitting right next to him, Marino stared a hole through Boomer Esiason. Look it up. It's there. You can find it. But Marino was just one example. Y'all, Drew Brees is another example. Brees got there, won it in 2009. We all assumed the Saints would get back there. They never did. So many times close. If it was the Minneapolis Miracle or the Nola no call or the Bounty Gate taking Peyton away from a year, the awful defenses. I mean, it's hard to get back. Many consider Aaron Rodgers the best quarterback in the game today. He just won back-to-back MVPs. He's been to one. Rodgers went the year after the Saints in 2010. They won it. They beat the Steelers. Hasn't been back, despite hosting the conference championship game the last 2 years. They haven't been back. It's hard to do. Really hard to do. Dan Fouts never made it to a Super Bowl. He's a Hall of Famer. Phillip Rivers, we talked about, never made it to a Super Bowl. He's top 10 in the history of the NFL in most passing categories. Warren Moon, that's tricky because he played part of his career in the CFL. But infamously with the Oilers, they blew the 30-point lead against Frank Reich and the Bills when it looked like they were headed to the Super Bowl. Randall Cunningham never made it to a Super Bowl. Talk about some of the greatest quarterbacks ever that never even got there, let alone got to the Super Bowl multiple times or even won it. It's very hard to do. We are completely and utterly ruined by having watched Tom Brady. To see a man go to the Super Bowl 10 times and win it 7. Hell, I don't even have in front of me how many times Brady went to the conference championship. Do you know offhand? But please Google that real quick. It's just, we have lived through literally the greatest ever to do it. And so we've become numb to how hard it is because he made it look so easy. There's no guarantee that Joe Burrow is going to get back. I asked Musso and Paulie earlier, if you had to bet everything you own, all of it, every single earthly possession, does Joe Burrow get back to a Super Bowl? Yes or no? They both said yes, and I would agree with them. I think he will get back. And the reason is what I alluded to. He's got that thing. And they're going to figure, with that offensive line and with Eli Apple, that's your best quarterback. He got that team to the Super Bowl. They're going to figure out a way to get back. Yes, with a franchise that over the last 30 years largely has been abysmal, but has been to a Super Bowl 3 times now. They're going to find a way to get back. But I want to remind you that they're in the AFC with Patrick Mahomes, and he ain't going nowhere. And they're in the AFC with Josh Allen. The Bills might have actually been better this year than the Chiefs. And they're in the AFC with Justin Herbert in L.A. coming. And let's not, we have this conversation, we keep forgetting about Lamar Jackson, who's already won an MVP. I'd feel much more confident saying it if he was in the NFC today, but he's not. He's in the AFC. And that road is not going to get easier in the next decade because all of those guys are coming into their prime together. And so you have this next generation of Brady, Manning, Breeze, Rivers, Rodgers, right? This is the next generation of that. And they're all coming through their prime together. And some are at the end, it's going to look better than it does for others. You know, Dan Marino went once, never got back. Jim Kelly went 4 times, never won it. John Elway won a bunch, but couldn't win it until the last 2 years of his career. Sometimes it's just the way it goes. Do I think he'll get back? I do. Boy, I don't think it's going to be rinse and repeat. If you're curious about Super Bowl odds for next year, that's courtesy of DraftKings. They're already out. The Chiefs and the Bills share the best odds at plus 750. That means a $100 bet would win you $750. The Rams are next at plus 1,000. Cowboys, Niners, Bengals all together at plus 1,400. Then the Packers at plus 1,600. That's interesting because that would essentially tell you they don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be back, or they're really not sure. Because if he were back, that number would be much higher. The Ravens and the Broncos next at plus 2,000. And the reason the Broncos are that high is the possibility of Aaron Rodgers going there. And if he does flip, you would obviously see their number go way up. The Bucks and Titans at plus 2,200. Interesting with Tampa there because you obviously don't. Tom Brady isn't going to be back, but not a chance that maybe, just maybe, he pulls a quick one and reverses course. The Patriots, Chargers, Cardinals, Colts, all at plus 2,500. The Browns at plus 3,000. And then there's the Saints grouped with the Seahawks and the Vikings at plus 3,500. Bringing up the rear. Jets, Texans, Lions, all at plus 15,000. Get rich, people. Or save your money. All right, it's after further review. We are brought to you, by the way, by the DraftKings Sportsbook. So many people have discovered the DraftKings Sportsbook now thanks to the Super Bowl. And, man, it is just phenomenal. Sports betting is so much fun. A lot of people have learned what things like parlays are here over the past few weeks since mobile betting has been live in Louisiana, and we're thrilled to tell you about DraftKings. Now, listen, obviously, right now, it's a great time to jump aboard. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Football has ended, but that doesn't mean your opportunity to mobile bet or to sports bet has, because DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NBA. It's too good to pass up. So, right now, if you're a new customer with the DraftKings Sportsbook app, bet $1. Bet $1 on any team. If you win, you get $150 in free bets. So pick the most outlandish, lopsided game you can imagine. Bet $1, and if your team wins, you get $150 in free bets. It's that simple, but you do have to use the promo code Baton Rouge. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge, and you can win $150 in bets if you win on a $1 bet. Discover it today, the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code Baton Rouge. Now, the very long disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. Recording that's the best thing we ever did. So I don't have to do it every time. Okay. It's after further review. We have not yet talked about the halftime show. And I also want to talk about the ratings for the Super Bowl. We'll get to that. Saints still looking for an OC. LSU baseball, we have the projected order of finish in the SEC. And I have a thought on that. We'll get to all that. Ton to do. Otter Lock still ahead, so download your DraftKings Sportsbook app and get ready to win some money. It's AFR.
AFR.
Needed lunch today. You know, we were on vacation. So got back, didn't have any food cooked, didn't have anything in the house. So what did I do? I was right on Burbank at Lee, pulled into Rouse's. Easy. Rouse's went right over to the Chop House area. They had so much prepared food already. Got me a chicken breast, a little teriyaki seasoned sweet potato. Had to go healthy. Y'all, after this week of eating and drinking away, had to go healthy. And they got those options. They got the salad bar at Rouse's as well. Awesome if you're looking to cook at home or you're looking for something already prepared. And let me remind you, gentlemen, it's $5.19 on Valentine's Day. Yeah, it's Valentine's Day. Rouse's has got you covered. They got a section with all the Valentine's Day cards. They've got balloons. They got flowers. Ladies, they even have stuff for the guys. They have like these packaged things that has craft beer and like candy in it. Check it out. They got you covered at Rouse's. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Thinking about a new car for the new year? Come to Corval Toyota in Opelousas to pre-order your next vehicle. It's an easy process, and Toyotas are getting to our lot weekly. Make the decision now. Come on down to Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt, and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
So part of the ratings are starting to trickle in now for Super Bowl 56. You won't get the full, you get the overnight, but you won't get the full extensive numbers likely until tomorrow. But Super Bowl 56 was a huge win for NBC, as you might imagine. You had all of the elements there. You had not only was the game in Los Angeles, which is the number 2 media market in the country behind just New York City, but the Los Angeles team was also in the game. So you anticipate that you are going to see a large number for the LA market in this game. That was one thing that helped tremendously. You had a very competitive game also. A game that went down to last year's game was a blowout. You had star power with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes and all that stuff, the build-up and Tampa playing at home and everything, and the game flopped. It was a blowout. So you lose audience if the game isn't competitive. This game was competitive right down until the final 40 seconds when Joe Burrow was hit by Aaron Donald and slung the ball in that fourth down play. So you kept your audience throughout the entirety of the game. And then you also had the halftime show, and the numbers have shown that people came for halftime and then stayed. So here's what we know as of right now. We're waiting on the final numbers, but what we know right now is that 36 million U.S. tuned into the game. That's 1 in 4 homes in the U.S. And do you ever wonder, like, who are the people that don't watch the Super Bowl? Like, I thought none of us lives in a vacuum, right? I mean, if someone's thought it, other people have thought it. But you ever wonder that, like, who are the people? Do you know anyone, Muse, do you know anyone who did not watch the Super Bowl?
My sister, one of my sisters.
Just not interested.
Not a sports person at all.
But the thing about the Super Bowl, the reason it always does numbers like this is you don't have to be a sports person because there's parties and everyone does events around the Super Bowl. They come for the commercials, the halftime show, whatever, or just to go to a party.
She was at a party, but I guarantee she paid no attention to
but
the
she
game.
was at a party,
But she was at a
so
party.
it was there. So that's important. So she's in that number.
In the number.
I mean, someone who's like, you live off of figs in Montana and you don't even have a TV. Like that's what I'm talking about, right? Like that guy. Paul, you watch, yes? Do you know anyone who did not watch the Super Bowl?
My stepdad.
Did not watch?
Did not watch.
Where does he live? Here?
Here.
It was at home mowing the lawn?
Probably.
Okay.
Could care less.
Just nothing at all. Didn't go to a party?
Nope.
Okay, so they exist, is my point. I was in the airport yesterday and was stunned at 4:45 as I'm racing to get to my car to be able to watch it, how many people were just sitting at gates around the airport waiting for their flight. They didn't care. So they're out there, my point. Despite the fact that we think everyone watches, not everyone watches. So 36 million households watched. That's 1 in 4. The live viewership was up 12% from last year. A 12% increase when you're talking about roughly 100 million viewers, thereabouts. That's a very significant number that jumped. The thing that was more impressive, though, is that the halftime show was up about 20%. That's a major win. Not only that, the people who watched only halftime, meaning boosting television sets, then television sets going away at the end of halftime show, was up 60% from last year. Who was last year's halftime show? Oh, it was The Weeknd, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you had a 60% increase in the number of people that just watched halftime from a year ago. That in and of itself is amazing. Last year's halftime show was 29 million U.S. households. So this was a 19% increase from a year ago. And look, you just had star power. You had Dre, you had Snoop, Kendrick Lamar, you had Eminem, you had Mary J. They even brought out 50 Cent. Why'd they have that man hanging upside down? Come on.
So I asked the same question.
Why did he have to be hanging upside down?
Apparently, that's how the music video for In the Club started.
With him upside down?
Was him upside down.
Paul, did you know that?
I did.
Of course Paul knows that. Well, why didn't you just jump in and say that then? Why did you leave me out there? I mean, I know you're the rap guy.
I was about to. Moose would beat me to it.
That would have been too many words for Paul to say. He wouldn't have.
No, you're right. Paul.
Yeah.
As our resident rap expert. And people, by the way, people think I'm joking. I'm not joking. Paul O'Neill is a rap guy. Like, low riding truck, bass bumping. I mean, Muse.
Oh, yeah. No, can't confirm.
Paul, like, people think we're lying. I'm serious. I get it. Mild-mannered dude, doesn't talk a lot, but he's a rap guy. So, did the halftime show hit the spot?
The music, yes. The actual performance, I was kind of disappointed.
You didn't like the house?
I didn't.
I liked the house. You liked the house?
I liked it.
Why didn't you like the house?
I don't know. Just something about it. I didn't like it.
Okay. What would you have preferred?
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to dance or be choreographed or anything because they're rappers, but
right.
A little more movement, maybe.
I see, but they took care of that with so much movement around them in every room of the house. So, there was a brass section, and then there were people doing choreographed dances, and like, was it a map? Was the field a map like of L.A.? Was that what?
Was that what it was? Okay.
It was hard to tell what it was, like projecting down on the ground. Anyway, I understand that for some, like an older demographic, like my parents, my dad probably didn't care about that. I haven't talked to him about it. He probably didn't care about the halftime show. But everyone 45 and under, do kids like Dre and Snoop? I mean, Snoop's been like cross-generational, right? I mean, he's still got the Corona commercials, and Snoop's around. He's done reality TV. He was in old school Snoop-a-Loop. I mean, he's transcended. I wanted to hear more of Eminem.
Yeah.
He was a great closer, right? I love the way they started it. Starting it with next episode with Dre and Snoop was phenomenal. Like goosebumps. Absolutely loved it. I would say for me, the best halftime show ever was Michael Jackson at the Rose Bowl. And I don't think that can ever be beaten, and here's why. Go look at that halftime show and understand that 30 years ago, there weren't all of the pyrotechnics and all of the technology that can go into making a show what it is today. And still, Michael Jackson pulled it off. Like, they did the thing in the Rose Bowl where, like, he popped up on his face popped up on the screen, and then he shot out of the scoreboard in, like, the four corners, and then he shot out of the stage. Like, it just, the way they did it 30 years ago, before the technology was there, and filled the whole, was amazing. Like, that just, I don't think that one can ever be beaten. The greatest performer in history, Michael Jackson, pulling off one of his greatest performances, I don't think can ever be beaten. But that one, Prince, who people always mention, In the Rain in Miami, doing Purple Rain with the phallic guitar and everything. And this one I would put right there. People are going to laugh at this one too. Now, Beyonce, Bruno Mars, I think, have crushed it in the past also. They've been awesome. There have been really good ones. In 2000, so it would have been the 01 Super Bowl, it was Aerosmith, Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, and Nelly. There were Timberlake, Nelly, Britney, like there were not bigger stars at the time than them. Like, that was so massive at the time. Or maybe it was all of NSYNC. It was so massive at the time that it resonates and still does. And then they had Aerosmith with them, and it was awesome. Like today, you might look and go, "Oh, Britney Spears." I get it, but then it was a massive thing. So yeah, that's where I would go. You want to rank them? Do you have a thought? Would you put it among one of your tops all time?
Yeah, but see, so as you were doing that, I was trying to remember some of the more recent ones, and they're just not coming back to me, which I guess speaks to the fact that they just weren't very memorable.
Right. If it's memorable, they come. That's why Prince is memorable.
Right.
Dude had a giant phallic guitar
in the rain
with a sheet behind him with this giant shadow of his thing going, like, I mean,
if
he's playing Purple Rain, it was perfect. It was perfect.
If people don't mention Michael Jackson's halftime show as their favorite, it's always Prince. Like,
yes.
those are just the two. I enjoyed last night's a lot though. So I mean, yeah, it would rank up there high, but definitely the modern era, like of recent memory, absolutely.
Paul,
I would say Bruno.
Bruno was great, man. I became a Bruno fan.
Bruno was good
because of the halftime show. I didn't know any of his stuff. Saw that, I was like, oh my God, he's great. It's Shakira. The Shakira J-Lo one a couple years ago. Maroon 5, Timberlake.
Maroon 5 was terrible.
Lady Gaga, Coldplay, Katy Perry. There was Bruno in 2014. Beyonce in the Superdome.
That was a pretty good show. I remember people liking that one. I don't really remember much about it.
Madonna, but she was old. Black Eyed Peas, but I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
Then it was The Who, Springsteen, Tom Petty. Prince, the Stones. So I was trying to think of Stones did, Paul McCartney, and then they had a Shania Twain and No Doubt halftime show.
When was that?
The year before Boobgate.
Oh, so 2002?
January 03.
03, yeah.
Yeah.
2 seasons.
Yeah. U2.
I remember U2.
That was the tribute to 9/11.
Yeah.
And then the Aerosmith NSYNC one in 01. And now you know the rest of the story. All right, we're almost done. Otter in less than 15 minutes to give us some picks. When we come back, though, a name that's jumped up into the Saints OC conversation I'll get to very quickly, and LSU baseball. The projected order of finish from the coaches has been released, where they have LSU finishing overall and in the West. We'll talk about the next AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Look for the big yellow trucks and vans with the giant clock on the side. You'll see them all over town because they've been all over town for 40 years. You want to know why River City's 1 Hour Air has more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews than the next closest competitor? Because they've been around for 40 years. You don't stay in business for 4 decades if you're not treating people right and doing excellent work and providing great customer service. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. Expertly trained technicians that are always on time, that do great work the first time at a fair price over and over and over again. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. They'll never charge you extra to come out nights, holidays, or weekends. So give them a buzz. River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
You know Miller Lite only has 1 more calorie, right?
More taste. Good choice.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, rolling along. Going to move quickly here. We got Otter Locks coming up in just a few minutes. We'll get to Jimmy Ott, find out what we're betting on tonight. Two things that I want to do here in this segment. The Saints are still looking for a new offensive coordinator. One person they interviewed is a longtime NFL receivers coach, Robert Prince. But Prince has finalized a deal to join the Dallas Cowboys. You probably know that by now. Some of this might sound dated. I apologize if it does, because I was out of town through much of last week. The other name that's popped up, aside from Eric Bieniemy, which is the name that we've all talked about and have talked about, which for some reasons makes sense, right? I mean, if in fact his contract's up in KC, if in fact he wants to maybe separate, to not be in Andy Reid's shadow, if maybe that's the way it's perceived, let him go run his own offense, this would be a really good situation where you essentially have a blank canvas. Now they got to figure out who's going to play quarterback and all that stuff, but Bieniemy makes sense for a lot of those reasons. But the Saints continue to search. And the latest name to pop up is Scotty Montgomery. Scotty Montgomery played his collegiate ball at Duke. He played early 2000s in the NFL and then jumped into the coaching ranks. And he's actually been credited kind of as a rising star in the coaching profession. But he's already into his early 40s now. Scotty Montgomery's 43. So he played at Duke, played in the NFL, and then got into coaching at Duke as the wide receivers coach and went from Duke wide receivers coach to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he's kind of credited with putting together that Emmanuel Sanders, Antonio Brown, Mike Wallace trio and developing those guys. And he was so successful in that role that he left Pittsburgh and became the OC at Duke. So he went from receivers coach with the Steelers to the OC at Duke, and then ultimately kept being promoted there, became the head coach at East Carolina. So now he didn't do well. 3 years, three straight 3-win seasons at East Carolina, and he was fired. Went to Maryland. He was the OC under Mike Locksley in Maryland. And then this year, first season in Indianapolis with the Colts as the running backs coach, where, of course, Jonathan Taylor goes and has this dynamite year. So a guy that's coached college, NFL, coached receivers, running backs, been a coordinator, called plays at multiple spots, been a head coach in college as well. So a young guy at only 43 that's got a ton of experience with college, NFL, scouting, receivers, running backs, calling plays, checks a ton of boxes if that's the way they want to go. The one negative is, well, you can say he's never been an NFL offensive coordinator. Okay. I mean, if that were the case, you would negate a ton of great potential play calls. I mean, look at Sean McVay. Sean McVay, when he was with Washington, I mean, you got to get your first gig at some point, right? I mean, someone's got to give you the shot at some point. Maybe this is it for Scotty Montgomery. What I would love it if it's Eric Bieniemy for all the reasons we talked about. I think that would be a splash name, a big name on the offensive side, would be attractive to potential free agents. Not to say that Scotty Montgomery wouldn't be that, but I'd like the idea mostly of Dennis Allen saying, I want to bring in my guy. I don't think any coach should be forced to retain people from a previous staff. If you're going to be responsible for wins and losses, then ultimately it comes down to you being able to pick your staff and assemble that and the roster and having that say. Now, one of the primary reasons that people were pro Dennis Allen was you have this great culture, you have the staff in place, you have all the structure in place, and you don't need to upset it. Well, he's upsetting it, and that's okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But remember one of the reasons that many people were pro Dennis Allen. Similarly, though, he deserves the opportunity to go hire his own staff, and maybe it'll be Scotty Montgomery. Again, there's a whole long list of pros of reason this would make sense. The only blemish is he hasn't been an NFL OC, but I don't think that should preclude anybody from getting the job. You got to get your first crack at some point, and maybe this will be it for for Scotty Montgomery. We'll keep you posted. Okay, before we get to Otter, SEC baseball coaches have voted on the preseason projected order of finish and on the preseason All-SEC team. 3 LSU players first-team All-SEC. Cruz, Morgan, Berry. That shouldn't be a surprise. What is a surprise is the only team that had 3 first-teamers, aside from LSU, was Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was picked to win the East in a runaway with 87 votes, 9 first-place votes. Vanderbilt, Florida, Georgia, 1, 2, 3 in the East. The only ones receiving first-place votes, followed by Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, and Missouri bringing up the rear. Why is Missouri in the SEC? Jesus, they're terrible. Well, I guess every league needs its doormat, whatever. In the West, and this was the surprise, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU 4th, followed by Bama, A&M, Auburn. LSU did get 1 first-place vote, 1 vote to win the league, by the way. Vandy had the most. I'm sorry, that was in the East. LSU did have a vote to win the league. Ole Miss had 4, Arkansas 3, Florida 2, State 2, Vanderbilt 2, LSU 1. This speaks to how wide open the league is. And it's wide open mostly this year because basically everybody at the top lost their pitching. I mean, even if you look at, all right, so Arkansas was picked to win the West. Peyton Paulette was going to be the ace this year. We just found out a few weeks ago he's having Tommy John. He's done. Wicklander signed, so he's gone. So who's going to pitch for Arkansas? I don't know. Ole Miss, they lost Hoagland and DeCasey. Mississippi State lost their top 5 pitchers. Bednar and McLeod obviously are gone. LSU, nobody knows who LSU's pitchers are going to be, but I don't know who everybody else is going to have. And I know LSU's going to hit the crap out of the baseball. So I think this is evidence. The fact that the defending national champ is picked 3rd in the West tells you how wide open it is this year. I don't like LSU to win the West or the regular season title because I think the schedule is heinous. The fact that they got to play it's State, Arkansas, Florida, Vandy all on the road? Those 4 on the road? Y'all, I mean, schedule makers did LSU no favors. Okay, it doesn't mean that you can't put together a great season and go on a run in May and June. And I think this team will. They figure out their pitching, but they're going to hit the crap out of the baseball in the meantime. So, in any event, West is stacked. Can you all hear that? This thing keeps like unplugging and like disconnecting. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and unplug it. I'm just gonna leave it unplugged. It's great to see that things got fixed while it's gone. Just gonna leave this here. Baseball at the Box Friday. I won't be there because it's probably gonna be 30 degrees. Muse will be there holding it down for the AFR crew. Every freezing game out there. Maybe when it gets warmer, I might go if I can sit in the guarantee suite where there's booze, food, and the opportunity to go inside and sit on the couch.
I've done that. It's a good time.
I've done it plenty of times. I'm showing you it's the only way I'm going. Have you met my wife?
Yes. No. Yeah. I don't know. Kind of.
You've talked to her many times.
Yeah.
There's just no way. I have ruined her. She can never go. I can never just buy seats in the bleachers and go sit. She'll never do that. Yeah. Okay, baseball at the box on Friday. Okay, let me knock out our final break of the show. We're brought to you by Relief Windows. When we come back, Otter Locks. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. Stay here.
AFR.
Speaking of the Otter.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There.
Question I had were all answered in that consultation process, so I highly encourage you. Schedule that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020.
How do you choose the right attorney? I give you the answers at murphylawfirm.com. Don't allow insurance companies to take advantage of you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play. Keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth a short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and of an incomprehensible, the Outfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Doing good, Matthew. How about you, buddy?
Very well. I did have the Bengals on the money line, so I need a little catch up tonight here, Otter. You got to do me right.
Jeez, I mean, this guy goes out of town. I mean, I got to give credit. Musso was like, "Well, do I said, Musso, you better do it." So he gave a big strong
By the way, neither of you sent me the pics. All I got is the text from you. I'm like in California. I'm in some Japanese hole-in-the-wall restaurant, having dinner in a beer, and I get a text like Colucci goes 2-0 and crushes it. I'm like, why didn't you text me the pics? You can't help me out?
That'd be 2-0 at 5:50 and 2-0 at 6:30. So no, but I will show you the text that your wife sent me. Just don't dare text my husband while we're in California. Okay.
If it was about betting and money, she'd be all about it.
Yeah, and you know what, Matt? I think this Super Bowl, and I don't expect everybody, a lot of the beginner sports gamblers, and there are a lot of them out there taking advantage of different bonuses and things like that. But the Super Bowl, to me, the whole end game was it had so many more layers to it, where you're watching one game, you focus on one game, but then you don't have multiple action and things like that on a lot of other things. But it's really something to kind of get the hang of for next postseason for the NFL.
For sure.
Yeah, it's I thought that the Bengals would fall behind, so I didn't want to take their spread until they did, and they did. Fortunately, sometimes they'll never fall behind, but that pattern was there, and then you would get like plus 9.5 in game and plus 8.5. Some other and then at the half, the spread and the total was the exact same was before the game.
Oh wow, interesting.
Well, Beckham's gone.
Yeah,
you can see the game is changing, so the Bengals were a consideration there as well, including the money line, which I took as well. So
I literally got like 30 seconds. So if you got picks, let me have them.
All right, here we go. One pick tonight in the Big East. This is a rematch of Saturday's game. Creighton went on the road in D.C. and beat Georgetown by 14. Now they return back to Omaha and play tonight. 10.5, kind of a light line. Creighton on the bubble can't afford a bad loss, and Georgetown's defense is consistently bad. I mean, the Creighton Blue Jays, the old Jesuit school, minus the 10.5.
Otter follows us. Thank you, Otter.
I'll see you, Ben.
We'll see ya. Muse, what'd you learn?
The Barbie commercial, highest rated.
How about it? Paulie, what did you learn?
Tennessee got a new mascot.
You learn anything, Matt?
AFR.
I'm out of time. Hancock Whitney Bank, the official banking partner of the New Orleans Saints, the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Pelicans, and us here on AFR. Love Hancock Whitney Bank. They've been my bank for as long as I've had a bank. Told you that. I even love the options. Like, I got my New Orleans Saints debit card. I got the gold one with the black fleur-de-lis. You can get the black with the gold fleur-de-lis if you prefer, but I like the gold one better. It's Hancock Whitney Bank. You can get LSU checking and bank cards as well, so you can always show your pride wherever you go. But at its most important level, with Hancock Whitney Bank, they provide all of the banking products that you would need for a big bank. Online banking, mobile check deposit. They're with you 24/7, 365, wherever you go. If you're a small business owner, they have small business banking, but they have the feel of a community bank where they know your name when you walk into your branch. It's Hancock Whitney Bank for 120 years along the Gulf Coast. It's Hancock Whitney Bank, member FDIC, the official banking partner of the Saints, Tigers, and Pelicans.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.